Okay, heading into the holiday season, and whether it's politics or the pandemic, some of us may be dreading uncomfortable conversations with your loved ones. Let's talk about how we can prepare for these conversations. And family and marriage therapist Jenny Marie Battiston is here with us this morning. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me on.
And I think this is an important conversation for a lot of us before we head to that holiday dinner table. What are the best ways to handle these kind of awkward conversations if your family has different opinions on politics or the pandemic or whatever?
Well, I really like to apply what I call the ABC method: acceptance, be polite with our boundaries, and compassion. When we seek to understand someone's heart, even when it's different from ours, the conversation can take a totally different turn.
Absolutely, and it goes downhill really quick. How can these disagreements at the dinner table impact our mental health, our relationships?
Well, there's been a lot of isolation over the past year and a half during the pandemic. So when those conversations go off the cliff, we can be left feeling more isolated, feeling like we don't have that emotional support, which can have a profound effect on increasing anxiety, depression, profound sadness, affecting our sleep, our eating, and just our general everyday mood.
The pandemic and the vaccine has caused a lot of issues in families all over the place. I have heard from so many people saying, I just can't talk to my sister. I cannot talk to my mom about it. So what should we do if our families cannot agree on which COVID precautions to take?
So we need to be clear with our boundaries and also seek to understand their boundaries. Understand when we open up conversation and stay curious rather than furious, we might learn a little bit more about their heart and understand their why, which then maybe they're open to hearing our why. We need to keep ourselves safe if they differ from us.
Okay, I think that's good. We had another counselor on not long ago, and he said when we get into conversations like this, sometimes, to your acceptance part, he said, what if you just say, you may be right, and just leave it at that? Is that fair? Would you subscribe to that?
Absolutely, because look, we don't have a magic crystal ball. We don't know everything, and we're not medical researchers, so we don't know everything. So we have to make our own choice that keeps us safe, and our family members, they're making their own choices. So sometimes we just need to let it be.
Okay, so what if it's not quite, make or break, but the family's prying a little bit into your personal life? When are you going to settle down? When are you going to find that right guy? You know what I mean? Like, how do you deal with that sort of thing?
Oh my goodness, those are really the dreaded questions, honestly. Again, thank them for their curiosity. Don't become furious and say, there's a big ocean out there. I'm exploring my options and I'm going to find the right fish at the right time. Thanks for your love and concern and support for me to find that person.
That sounds like a well-worded email. So what are the best ways to handle like general holiday stress? Because we're all sort of feeling it, plus we've got the supply chain issues and we're all kind of feeling like everything's backed up. How do we deal with this?
Yeah, practicing mindfulness and accepting things just as they are right now and trying to be present in the day. Again, just using a little compassion towards those who are out there when that store person says, hey, I'm sorry, that's not available. Okay, what are my other options? Get out there, exercise, breathe. Just pause for a moment. Know that it's going to be okay. You don't have to have that perfect gift. It's really about emotionally connecting with friends and family and your children during this time.
Especially after this long period of disconnection, I think that's really valuable. And to that point, we had a story earlier today. There was a study that came out, some survey somewhere saying people plan to put on an average of 8 pounds this holiday season, which is 2 pounds more than they were saying 2 years ago before the pandemic. And we were, pontificating. Perhaps it's just because we're looking forward to just kind of, letting it go since we can get back together this year. What's your take on that?
Food is comfort for a lot of individuals. food is warmth. So sometimes we put on that extra little layer, we feel a little bit more comfortable. We feel a little bit more warmth. Do it with some caution. Make sure that you're exercising, you're hydrating. Try to choose healthier foods if you can. But if you put on a little extra cushion, hey, you'll be more like a teddy bear this season.
There you go. More handle to hug, I guess. Jenny Marie Battiston, thank you so much. That's a great perspective for us. Let's check in with Brian McMillan right now, and really cold out there, and I just